The night was calm. Cities slept under the soft glow of streetlights. Cars moved slowly on quiet streets, and the stars shone brightly above. People looked at the sky, unaware that this peaceful night would soon turn into the darkest moment in human history. Suddenly, a strange shadow passed over the moon. At first it was small, just a flicker. But within seconds the shadow grew larger and larger. People across the world looked up in confusion and fear. A massive shape appeared in the sky, alien ships, hundreds of them, hovering silently, blocking the stars. The Earth's night turned into a nightmare. From the largest ship, a strange voice boomed. It was not human. It was cold, mechanical, and filled with disdain. The voice echoed across cities, oceans, and mountains. Humans? Weak. Primitive. You will serve us. Panic spread like wildfire. People screamed in the streets. Car alarms rang endlessly. Military bases scrambled jets, but the humans were unprepared. Small defense ships launched into the sky, hoping to confront the invaders. Lasers flashed, missiles roared, but it was useless. The alien ships moved with impossible speed, dodging every attack. With a single powerful beam, an alien ship destroyed a squadron of human fighters. Buildings shook as energy blasts hit cities, causing destruction everywhere. On the ground, families ran for shelter. Parents grabbed their children, trying to stay calm, but the fear was everywhere. Governments sent alerts to phones and radios, warning citizens to stay indoors. News channels tried to report, but signals were often cut as alien interference blocked communications. People watched the chaos unfold on screens, feeling helpless. In New York, Sarah, a young teacher, held her little brother tightly. She looked up at the sky and saw the massive ship hovering above Central Park. Its surface shimmered with strange lights, and every second it grew larger, as if it wanted to swallow the city whole. Her brother trembled, whispering, "Why are they here? What do they want?" Sarah could not answer. Nobody could. Across the world, similar scenes played out. Children hid under beds while soldiers and pilots tried to do their best, but against such overwhelming power, it seemed hopeless. The aliens were not just attacking, they were mocking humans. On giant screens, messages appeared in glowing symbols that no human could understand, but the tone was clear: humans were nothing. Cities like London, Tokyo, and Cairo witnessed the same terrifying spectacle. Alien scout ships moved quickly, firing at humans who tried to fight back. Each blast left craters and destroyed entire streets. Even the military leaders were shocked. In Washington, General Carter watched his fleet disappear one by one on the radar. His hands shook as he realized the truth. The alien technology was far beyond anything humans had ever seen. "We are not ready," he muttered to himself. "We are not ready for this war." Yet, amid the fear, something started to stir in humans. People who were running, hiding, and panicking began to look at the sky with determination. Even as the aliens mocked them, humans began to understand one thing. The aliens did not just want to kill them. They wanted control. They wanted to enslave Earth, to take it as their colony, and to make humans their servants. The realization sent a chill through every mind. The aliens' power was immense, but so was human courage. From homes, bunkers, and military bases, humans whispered promises to fight back. Children clung to their parents and hoped that someone somewhere would find a way to resist. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers started thinking about what they could do. How could a species seen as weak strike back against such an unstoppable force? Above the cities, the alien ships floated like silent predators. They were enormous, glowing, and terrifying. Human ships were like tiny insects in comparison. Every time a human ship tried to attack, it was obliterated in an instant. Yet, humans refused to give up. Across the globe, people began to coordinate, sending messages, sharing information, and trying to survive. As the night deepened, the aliens' intentions became clearer. They did not just want resources, they wanted obedience. Humans could feel it, a cold, calculated desire to enslave every living being on Earth. And in that fear, something remarkable happened. Humans, for the first time in history, felt a unity born from terror. By dawn, the sky was still dark with alien ships. Cities were in chaos. Fires burned where energy beams had hit. Yet humans were no longer just afraid. They were angry. They were determined. Somewhere in the ruins, a young pilot looked at his destroyed ship, clenched his fists and whispered, "They think we are weak. They are wrong." The world had changed in a single night. The peaceful Earth had met a force beyond imagination. The aliens had come to enslave humanity, but in doing so, they had awakened something far more dangerous. Humans, underestimated and mocked, were ready to rise. The suspense hung in the air. The question remained, could humans survive? Could they fight back? The first chapter of this battle had ended in fear and destruction, but the war was only beginning. The morning after the alien invasion started was silent, but not peaceful. Cities were scarred from energy blasts, smoke rose from burning buildings and sirens wailed in the distance. Humanity had faced a terrifying reality: the aliens were not here to negotiate. They were here to conquer. In underground bunkers and military command centers, humans began to organize. Leaders, scientists, and soldiers gathered quickly. Maps were spread across tables, screens lit up with alien positions, and radios buzzed with updates. Every human knew that their survival depended on action. General Carter, his face tired but determined, looked at the screens showing the alien fleet above Earth. "They are strong, faster, smarter than anything we have ever faced," he said. "But they are not invincible. We need to find their weakness, and we need to strike before it's too late." In a small lab beneath New York, Dr. Lena Rao, a physicist, studied fragments of alien technology recovered from the destroyed ships. Sparks of hope flickered in her mind. "If we understand their energy systems, their ships could be vulnerable," she explained to her team. Engineers and programmers nodded, working tirelessly to decode alien patterns. Meanwhile, soldiers trained in secret. Pilots practiced maneuvers in simulators, learning how to dodge alien beams. Civilians helped too. They repaired damaged vehicles, built barriers, and prepared shelters. Everywhere, people realized that surviving this invasion required teamwork. Rich or poor, soldier or teacher, everyone had a role to play. Even as humans planned, alien scouts continued to patrol the skies. The aliens underestimated the human spirit, assuming that fear and chaos would stop any attempt at resistance. But humans had something the aliens could not understand: resilience. Across the world, small victories began to appear. In a coastal city, a human squad managed to disable a minor alien drone using a simple electromagnetic pulse. In another town, engineers redirected power to create makeshift shields that blocked alien beams for a few precious seconds. These victories were small, but they gave humans hope. They proved that even the mightiest enemy had limits. In the skies above Europe, Captain Marco Alvarez led a group of fighter jets in a daring maneuver. Using their speed and knowledge of the terrain, they managed to avoid the alien weapons and strike a supply ship, causing it to crash into the mountains. The explosion lit the night like fireworks, and for the first time humans tasted a sense of revenge. Back in the command centers, leaders discussed strategy. They knew the aliens would not wait. If humans were to survive, they needed to unite. Nations that had once fought each other now shared intelligence and resources. Satellite images, weather data, and old military secrets were exchanged freely. Humanity had no choice but to become one. Yet, even with planning and preparation, fear was never far. Families worried for their loved ones. Soldiers feared the unknown capabilities of alien weapons. Children asked questions their parents could not answer. But fear was no longer paralyzing. It had become fuel. Every human, from the youngest to the oldest, wanted to fight back, even in the smallest ways. At night, humans would look up at the sky, still filled with alien ships, and whisper vows to survive. Some prayed, some trained, some built. Across the globe, a quiet determination spread. Humans were no longer just reacting to the invasion, they were preparing to strike back. In a secret laboratory, Dr. Lena Rao finally discovered something important. "Their ships rely on a central energy core," she said excitedly. "If we can target it, we could destroy a ship with a single hit." The scientists immediately shared this information with the military. For the first time, there was a clear plan. Humans had found a potential weakness. The aliens, however, continued their campaign, unaware of the growing threat beneath them. They still saw humans as weak, primitive creatures, easy to enslave. That was their mistake. Underestimate humanity, and the consequences could be catastrophic. As the day ended, humans gathered in bunkers, homes, and safe zones. They shared stories, made plans, and strengthened bonds. Every survivor understood one truth: fear was the enemy, but courage was stronger. Humans were not defeated, not yet. The fire of resistance had been lit, and it was spreading. Somewhere high above Earth, an alien commander observed the humans with mild amusement. "They fight? They dare?" he said in a cold, mechanical tone. Little did he know, the more humans were pushed to the edge, the fiercer they became. By nightfall, humans were ready. Not for victory yet, but for action. Small attacks, daring maneuvers, clever tricks, everything counted. They had realized one thing: if they wanted to survive, they could not wait for the aliens to make a mistake. They had to make their own. The first sparks of human resistance were now visible. And somewhere in the shadows, the first leaders of Earth's counterattack whispered, "This is just the beginning. The aliens will learn one thing tonight: humans are not so easy to enslave." The night ended not with silence, but with determination. Fear still lingered, but hope had returned. The humans of Earth were waking up. And once they did, no force in the galaxy would underestimate them again. The sun had barely risen when the skies above Earth became a battlefield. After days of planning, humans were ready to make their first major move against the alien invaders. Fighter jets, small attack ships, and newly built weapons were lined up across the globe. For the first time, humans were not running, they were attacking. Captain Marco Alvarez looked at his squadron, his face stern but full of determination. "Today we show them that Earth will not bow. Stick to the plan, watch each other's backs, and remember, every shot counts." His pilots nodded. Each knew the risk. Each knew that most of them might not return. Yet, courage burned brighter than fear. The aliens, as expected, noticed the human fleet moving. They tilted their massive ships toward Earth, sending scouts to intercept the attackers. From space their eyes were cold, calculating. They had underestimated humans before, but now they would see resistance firsthand. The battle began with small skirmishes. Human pilots darted between city skyscrapers and through canyons, avoiding alien beams with careful precision. Missiles screamed past, and laser fire lit the skies in streaks of red and blue. Humans had learned quickly. Their attacks were coordinated, clever, and unpredictable. For the first time, the aliens were forced to react. In New York, a squadron led by Captain Alvarez targeted an alien supply ship hovering above Central Park. Using a combination of speed and cunning, they managed to hit the ship's weak points, causing a massive explosion that shook the city. Civilians on the streets cheered from behind barriers, amazed that humans could strike such a powerful enemy. Elsewhere, small human teams sabotaged alien drones on the ground. Engineers and soldiers had combined forces, creating traps, EMP devices, and improvised explosives. The aliens had advanced technology, but humans had creativity, determination, and knowledge of their own planet. Every victory, no matter how small, brought hope. However, the cost was high. Many human ships were destroyed in the initial attacks. Pilots fell from the sky, and soldiers on the ground fought desperately to survive. Fear was still present, but it was now accompanied by determination. Humans were learning, adapting, and evolving in real time. In a bunker in London, General Carter watched the radar screens. "They are holding their own," he said quietly. "It's not much, but it's enough to show we can fight. Enough to show them that humans are not easy prey." The generals and scientists nodded. Humanity's first strike had not won the war, but it had changed the game. Meanwhile, alien commanders were beginning to understand the threat. Humans were not just resisting, they were challenging their authority. "These creatures, they fight differently than expected," one alien said, its voice filled with irritation. "They are unpredictable. They do not fear death. Adjust strategy." But even as the aliens adjusted, humans adapted. In the skies above Tokyo, young pilot Aiko Tanaka led a daring mission to intercept a scout ship. Her squadron was smaller and outmatched, but she used clever maneuvers to confuse the alien sensors. With precise timing, they hit the ship's energy core, causing it to spiral down into the city below. Explosions erupted, and though damage was caused, the message was clear: humans could strike anywhere. Back in the laboratories, Dr. Lena Rao and her team monitored the battle, analyzing alien movements and weaknesses. "They're strong," she said, "but every hit we take teaches us something. Every mistake they make is an opportunity." Scientists relayed instructions to pilots, showing that Earth's intelligence and technology, even under pressure, could compete with alien force. The first major clash reached its peak when humans coordinated attacks from multiple continents. From Europe, Asia, and North America, small human fleets converged, forcing the aliens to divide their forces. It was chaotic, terrifying, and beautiful, a display of human ingenuity and courage against an enemy that had seemed invincible. By the end of the day, humans had not destroyed the alien fleet, but they had made a statement. They had shown the galaxy that Earth's defenders were willing to fight and capable of inflicting serious damage. Streets were scarred, ships were lost, and lives had been sacrificed, but morale soared. Humanity had tasted victory for the first time. As night fell, Captain Alvarez stood on a ruined rooftop, looking at the stars obscured by alien ships still hovering overhead. "They will come back stronger," he said quietly. "But so will we. Today was just the beginning." The aliens, now aware that humans were not mere prey, regrouped in space. They were planning a massive retaliation. But humans were ready too. The first major clash had ended, but the war had only just begun. Humanity had discovered its strength, and the fire of resistance was burning brighter than ever. Somewhere across the globe, survivors whispered the same thought. They thought we were weak. They were wrong. We will fight. We will survive. We will win. The first major clash had ended, and though humans had survived, the threat above Earth remained enormous. Alien ships still hovered in the skies, their presence a constant reminder of the danger. Yet, amidst the chaos, hope was growing. Humanity had learned something critical. Aliens could be challenged and perhaps they could be defeated. In underground laboratories and military bunkers, scientists worked tirelessly. Dr. Lena Rao and her team analyzed fragments of alien technology recovered from destroyed ships. Wires, metal alloys, strange glowing cores, they were unlike anything on Earth. At first, the devices seemed indestructible, impossible to understand. But humans were determined. This energy field, Dr. Rao said, pointing at a glowing core in the lab, it powers everything on the ship. Shields, weapons, propulsion, it all depends on this. If we can target it, we can destroy the ship with a precise strike. Her team leaned closer. Maps and holograms displayed the internal structure of a captured alien drone. Patterns emerged, vulnerable points, weak spots, areas that required careful timing to hit. Engineers sketched weapons, missiles, and energy disruptors designed to exploit these weaknesses. Every idea, no matter how simple, was tested against simulations. Meanwhile, military leaders planned strikes. They could not afford to waste ships and lives on blind attacks. We need precision, General Carter said. One shot in the right place can take down a ship. One mistake could cost dozens of lives. This is the difference between survival and extinction. Small teams of pilots volunteered for high-risk missions. Captain Marco Alvarez, Aiko Tanaka, and others studied maps and satellite data for days. They learned alien patterns, how they reacted under pressure, how they moved in formation. Every move was observed, recorded, and analyzed. On the streets, civilians played their part too. Engineers created improvised devices to jam alien sensors. Hackers sent coded signals to disrupt communications. Every human, no matter how small their role, contributed to the plan. For the first time, Earth was united in a common goal. The aliens, however, remained arrogant. They still assumed humans were weak, chaotic, and incapable of understanding their advanced systems. From their motherships, they surveyed Earth with disdain. Their attacks are primitive, one commander said. They cannot possibly breach our defenses. We will crush them quickly. But humans had discovered something else. Alien ships, while powerful, had limits. Their energy cores could overheat if overloaded. Certain weapons required alignment, and once misaligned, even a small human attack could destroy critical systems. It was a glimmer of hope, a secret that could turn the tide of war. Dr. Rao gathered the pilots. We've simulated thousands of attacks, she said. We know their weaknesses. You will not fight blindly. You will strike where it hurts the most. Timing, precision, and courage will decide the battle. Training intensified. Pilots practiced maneuvers to reach alien weak points without being detected. Engineers tested new weapons in secret. Every failure was studied, every success celebrated. Humans were no longer fighting only for survival, they were preparing to fight back with intelligence and strategy. In one daring experiment, a small team managed to overload a captured alien drone's energy core. The explosion was immense, shaking the lab floor. Cheers erupted. This was proof that the alien ships, despite their size and power, could be destroyed. Humanity had found a way to fight back. Across the globe, humans communicated secretly, sharing discoveries and plans. Satellites relayed coordinates, engineers sent schematics, and pilots trained for months and days. The alien underestimate of humans was their greatest mistake. Humanity's resilience and intelligence were now weapons as strong as lasers or missiles. As night fell, the alien fleet loomed ominously in the sky. They had noticed human resistance, but they did not yet know the extent of the threat. Their arrogance would be their downfall. Humans, on the other hand, felt a quiet confidence. They had learned, adapted, and prepared. They were no longer just survivors, they were warriors. Captain Alvarez, standing on a high cliff overlooking the city, looked at the ships above. They think they are invincible, he said quietly. They think we are weak. But we've learned their secrets. We know how to hit them. The next battle will be different. The world held its breath. Every pilot, soldier, and civilian knew that the coming days would decide the fate of Earth. But now humans had more than courage. They had knowledge, strategy, and the understanding that even the strongest enemy had weaknesses. The fire of human resistance burned brighter than ever. The aliens had assumed victory, but humans were awakening to their full potential. And as the night deepened, one thought echoed through every bunker, lab, and command center. We know how to fight them. And when the time comes, we will strike back, and we will not fail. The world had changed. The first clashes had taught humans two things. Aliens were powerful and humans were not weak. But now, Earth faced a new challenge: how to unite millions of people across continents for a fight that could decide the planet's fate. In cities, towns, and villages, people came together. Former rivals and nations who had once argued over borders now shared resources, knowledge, and manpower. Military bases exchanged plans, scientists shared research, and engineers built weapons and defenses that would have been impossible just days ago. Humanity was waking up to its full potential. General Carter spoke to the leaders of the world in a secure communications network. Our differences are small compared to what we face, he said. If we want to survive, we must act as one planet. Every country, every city, every person has a role. No one fights alone. And people listened. Across Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas, and Australia, volunteers joined militias, rebuilt damaged cities, and trained for battle. Engineers repurposed factories to produce energy disruptors, missiles, and shields. Hackers monitored alien communications, searching for patterns and weaknesses. Scientists tested new weapons designed to hit alien ships in their most vulnerable points. Every small action mattered because together they could create a force strong enough to challenge the invaders. In New York, Captain Marco Alvarez and his squadron trained relentlessly. They studied alien ship movements, practiced targeting weak points, and coordinated with other pilots worldwide. They were no longer a small team, they were part of a global network, connected through encrypted signals and live data from satellites. Meanwhile, civilians contributed in their own ways. People repaired power grids, cleared roads, and provided food and medical care to soldiers and volunteers. Teachers and parents instructed children on safety, while young engineers built drones and communication devices to support resistance efforts. Humanity had discovered that survival required every hand, every mind, and every heart. Even in the skies, humans adapted. Pilots from different continents flew in synchronized patterns, using tactics that confused alien sensors. Small teams struck at key targets while others distracted enemy forces. It was chaos, but coordinated chaos, a dance of skill, courage, and intelligence. Dr. Lena Rao continued her research, now on a global scale. Laboratories in Europe, Asia, and North America shared data on alien energy cores. Simulations tested every possible scenario. They discovered that the alien ships, despite their size and firepower, could be destroyed if attacked strategically. Humans were learning faster than the aliens expected. Yet the aliens were not idle. They began deploying larger fleets, targeting key cities, and trying to disrupt communication networks. Their arrogance, however, remained. They still believed that humans were disorganized, emotional, and incapable of real strategy. But humans had proven them wrong. In a massive command center under the Alps, leaders and scientists coordinated the first global strike plan. Satellites relayed data to ships in the air, while engineers adjusted weapons to match the unique weaknesses of each alien class. Every move was calculated. Every decision could mean the difference between victory and destruction. Families watched from bunkers and safe zones as humans prepared for the coming battle. Fear was still present, but it was mixed with hope. Children whispered encouragement to pilots, and parents shared food and messages of support. Humanity had discovered a new power: unity. Together, humans could achieve what no individual could. On the front lines, Captain Alvarez received orders. His squadron would lead the first coordinated global strike. Pilots from Tokyo, London, and Cape Town would join, moving in perfect synchronization. Remember, he told his team, we are not just fighting for our countries. We are fighting for Earth. We are fighting for everyone. As night fell, the skies were alive with human activity. Ships flew in formation, drones hovered over key areas, and signals connected continents. The alien fleet above remained menacing, but humans were no longer hiding. They were ready. The moment had arrived. Humans were united, prepared, and determined. For the first time, they felt a real chance to turn the tide of war. Every soldier, pilot, and civilian knew that their combined effort could challenge even the mightiest alien fleet. From underground bunkers to skyscraper rooftops, humans whispered the same promise: we are one planet. We are one people. We will fight, and we will not be defeated. Above Earth, the alien ships hovered, unaware of the full strength that humanity now commanded. The coming days would test everyone, but one truth was clear. Humans were no longer just survivors, they were a united force ready to unleash their full potential. The war was far from over, but for the first time humanity had something more powerful than fear or weapons: unity. And with unity they were unstoppable. The skies above Earth were alive with movement. After weeks of preparation, humans were ready to strike back. Fighter jets streaked through the clouds, drones hovered in formation, and massive human ships launched from hidden bases. Satellites relayed real-time data, and command centers coordinated attacks with precision. The moment humanity had trained for had arrived. Captain Marco Alvarez led his squadron through the chaos of clouds and smoke. "Stay sharp," he said, gripping the controls. "This is the fight we've been preparing for. Hit their weak points, avoid the beams, and stay together." Around him, pilots from Tokyo, London, and Cape Town moved like one unit, every maneuver carefully timed. Above the Pacific Ocean, the alien fleet loomed. Motherships glimmered with strange lights, smaller ships darted like deadly insects, and energy beams streaked across the sky. The aliens had prepared for a fight, but they had underestimated humanity's unity and strategy. The first wave of human attacks targeted supply and reconnaissance ships. Missiles streaked through the sky, drones jammed sensors, and small fighter teams executed daring maneuvers to confuse alien targeting systems. Explosions rocked the sky as several alien ships were disabled. The humans had learned to exploit the weaknesses discovered by scientists like Dr. Lena Rao. In New York, ground teams fired energy disruptors at low-flying alien drones. The devices overloaded the drone's systems, causing spectacular explosions that lit up the city. Civilians watched from shelters, cheering as humans struck back for the first time on a global scale. The morale of the world soared. In orbit above Europe, Captain Alvarez's squadron executed a daring attack on a massive mothership. Using precision strikes on the ship's energy core, they caused internal explosions that crippled its weapon systems. The alien crew scrambled to contain the damage, but humans were relentless. Every successful hit boosted the confidence of pilots and soldiers everywhere. Meanwhile, on the ground, scientists and engineers continued to support the battle. Satellite-guided weapons, improvised EMPs, and targeted missiles synchronized perfectly with the aerial attacks. Humans were coordinating like never before, blending intelligence, skill, and courage into a single, unstoppable force. Even as humans gained momentum, the aliens counterattacked fiercely. Energy beams sliced through the sky, tearing through buildings and ships. Human pilots narrowly dodged blasts, relying on split-second timing and training. Each strike against the aliens came at a cost. Ships were destroyed, heroes fell, but every victory inspired the next wave of fighters. In Tokyo, young pilot Aiko Tanaka led a team of jets to intercept a scout fleet aiming for civilian centers. Using clever maneuvers and coordinated attacks, they disabled several ships, forcing the aliens to retreat. She communicated with other pilots across the globe, creating a network of strikes that kept the enemy off balance. Humanity's coordination was becoming their greatest weapon. By midday, the battle had reached its peak. Human forces from every continent converged on the alien fleet. Massive explosions erupted in the skies as motherships and drones were hit simultaneously from multiple angles. The aliens had never faced such organized resistance. Their arrogance began to falter. From underground bunkers, Dr. Lena Rao watched the battle unfold on multiple screens. "It's working," she whispered. "They're using everything we've learned, the weak points, the coordination, the timing. Humans are striking with precision. This is what we've been preparing for." Engineers and scientists cheered as they guided attacks, knowing each success could bring Earth closer to freedom. In a daring final maneuver, Captain Alvarez and his squadron entered the heart of the alien formation. They targeted the mothership's main energy core, dodging lasers and missiles with unmatched skill. With a synchronized strike, they hit the core, causing a massive explosion that rippled across space. The alien fleet shuddered, ships were thrown into chaos, and humanity had achieved a decisive victory. The world watched as alien ships began to retreat, many destroyed, some damaged beyond repair. Humans had proven that they could fight back, that Earth was not a planet to be conquered easily. Cities celebrated, but soldiers remained vigilant. This victory was important, but the war was not yet over. Captain Alvarez, landing on a ruined runway, looked at the sky. Fire still burned on distant ships, but for the first time humans had hope. "We've done it," he said quietly. "We've shown them that we are not weak. They thought Earth was easy to take. They were wrong." Across the globe, the same sentiment was echoed. From shelters, rooftops, and command centers, humans whispered the truth. We are strong. We are united. We will never be enslaved. The first major offensive had ended. Humanity had unleashed its full potential, striking fear into the hearts of the alien invaders. The war was far from over, but Earth had awakened a force that would not be underestimated again. And somewhere above, the aliens regrouped, stunned by humanity's courage, intelligence, and unity. They had underestimated Earth once, but humans had learned their weaknesses, and the next battle would be even fiercer. The stage was set for the final chapter. Humanity had struck back, and the fire of resistance burned brighter than ever. The aliens had come to enslave Earth, but humans had unleashed hell. The skies above Earth were filled with smoke, fire, and the debris of destroyed alien ships. The battle had raged for days, and humanity had shown courage, intelligence, and determination that even the most powerful aliens could not ignore. But now, the final moment had arrived, the decisive strike that would determine the fate of the planet. Captain Marco Alvarez led the combined global fleet. Fighter jets, drones, and massive human ships formed a precise formation, each pilot knowing their role, each weapon aimed at the alien fleet's most critical points. This was humanity's ultimate effort, a coordinated assault designed to exploit every weakness the scientists had discovered. Dr. Lena Rao, monitoring the battle from a secure underground command center, guided the pilots. Focus on the energy cores, she instructed. Hit them all at once. Timing is everything. We can end this today. Her voice trembled with urgency and excitement. Every human involved understood the stakes. Failure meant extinction. Success meant freedom. The alien fleet had grown chaotic. Motherships, drones, and fighter ships tried to regroup, but humans attacked from every angle. Energy beams streaked across the sky, explosions rocked the clouds, and ships were thrown into flames. The aliens realized too late that humans had learned their patterns, studied their weaknesses, and were striking with precision no alien mind had anticipated. In orbit above Europe, Captain Alvarez and his squadron dove toward a massive alien mothership. Using a combination of evasive maneuvers, coordinated attacks, and targeting the core, they breached its defenses. Explosions tore through the ship from the inside, and it began to break apart. Pilots cheered in their cockpits, knowing this blow would turn the tide of war. Across the world, humans executed synchronized strikes. Missiles, energy disruptors, and fighter jets targeted every vulnerable point on alien ships. Cities and military bases watched the skies as alien vessels fell one by one, spiraling into oceans, forests, and deserts. Humanity had turned the hunters into the hunted. Yet victory was not without cost. Many ships were lost, pilots fell heroically, and cities bore scars from alien attacks. Families mourned, soldiers grieved, but every human understood the price of freedom. Their sacrifice had made this moment possible. In Tokyo, Aiko Tanaka and her team executed a daring maneuver to strike the last group of alien scouts. Using synchronized flight patterns and precise timing, they disabled every ship, leaving the skies above Japan clear. Around the globe, similar victories unfolded. Humans had become unstoppable. The alien motherships, once so intimidating, were now falling apart. Their forces were shattered, their command disrupted, and their arrogance broken. From orbit to the surface, humans struck relentlessly. The aliens' attempts to counterattack failed against the combination of courage, strategy, and unity displayed by Earth's defenders. In a final strike, the remaining human fleet concentrated all its firepower on the largest alien ship. Every missile, beam, and energy disruptor hit its core simultaneously. The explosion was immense, shaking the atmosphere and sending shockwaves across space. The alien fleet scattered, their command structure destroyed. Silence fell for a moment, broken only by the cheers of humans across the planet. Earth had survived. Humanity had fought back against an enemy that seemed invincible and had emerged victorious. The fire of resistance, lit by fear and determination, had unleashed hell upon the invaders. Captain Alvarez, landing on a ruined runway, looked at the night sky. Only fragments of alien ships remained, burning far above. He took a deep breath and whispered, "They tried to enslave us. They thought we were weak. They were wrong." Around him, humans embraced, celebrated, and honored those who had fallen. Dr. Lena Rao, in the command center, allowed herself a small smile. "We did it," she said quietly. "We showed them what humans can do when united." Engineers, scientists, and soldiers cheered. Humanity had learned a vital lesson. Courage, unity, and intelligence could overcome even the greatest power. Across the planet, people rebuilt cities, rescued survivors, and honored heroes. Earth had survived its greatest threat, but the memory of the invasion would remain forever. Humans had discovered their true strength, the ability to rise when the odds were against them. Somewhere in the remnants of space, the alien survivors fled, shocked and defeated. They had underestimated Earth and the human spirit. Humanity had not only defended its home but had also sent a message across the galaxy. Earth's defenders would never be enslaved. As dawn broke over the battered yet unbroken planet, Captain Alvarez and his squadron looked toward the horizon. Fires burned, ruins smoldered, but life continued. Humanity had survived the impossible, risen stronger, and proven its might. The war was over, for now, but the lesson remained: never underestimate humanity. Never think humans are weak. We rise, we fight, and when pushed to the edge, we unleash hell. And so, Earth stood victorious. Humans had faced the galaxy's greatest threat and had emerged triumphant. Their courage, unity, and determination had changed the course of history forever. The stars above seemed a little brighter that morning, as if recognizing the unstoppable power of humanity.